Before we begin, dear viewers, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content about Islamic's teachings, history, and the stories of the prophets. Main script, the topic, the Sirat Bridge, Pul Sirat. In Islamic teachings, the Sirat Bridge is one of the most profound symbols of the afterlife. It is a bridge stretched over hell, and it is the path that every soul must cross after the day of judgment. The word Sirat literally means path or bridge, and it represents both the test of human deeds and the mercy of Allah. The nature of the Sirat Bridge. The Sirat Bridge is described as thinner than a hair and sharper than a sword. Beneath it lays hell with blazing fire, smoke, and unimaginable suffering. Every step on the bridge matters. It is not only a literal crossing but also a metaphor for the journey of the soul, representing the consequences of every action we have taken in life. The crossing, deeds and faith. The way a person crosses the bridge depends entirely on their deeds, intentions, and faith. Those who have prayed regularly, given charity, been honest, and helped others will find their crossing smooth and secure. On the other hand, those who have lied, cheated, harmed others, or neglected their religious duties will face difficulty. The role of angels. Angels play an essential role in assisting the righteous. They guide believers, support their steps, and help them navigate the dangers of the bridge. This divine assistance demonstrates that faith is never alone, since her devotion and righteous living attract divine guidance. Stories and examples. Example of a righteous person. Imagine a woman who spent her life helping orphans, feeding the poor, and praying daily. As she approaches the Sirat Bridge, her good deeds act like lighted steps. Angels support her, and she walks calmly across the bridge, eventually reaching paradise. Example of the sinful. Now imagine a man who cheated in business, harmed his neighbors, and neglected prayer. As he tries to cross the bridge, it feels impossibly thin. He slips and struggles, and without repentance or mercy, he falls into the fiery depths. This example illustrates the seriousness of our choices in life. Divine justice and mercy. The Sirat Bridge teaches us about Allah's balance of justice and mercy. Even the gravest sinner can be saved through sincere repentance. Allah's mercy is vast, and no one should despair. At the same time, accountability is unavoidable. Every action, small or large, has consequences. Spiritual and moral lessons. The bridge is also symbolic of the moral and spiritual path in life. Life is a series of tests, and every challenge or temptation is like a step on the bridge. Every act of kindness, honesty, and devotion strengthens the soul. Every sin or wrongdoing weakens it. The symbolism encourages believers to live ethically, reflect daily on their actions, and continuously improve themselves. Connection to paradise and hell. Crossing the Sirat Bridge safely leads to paradise, a place of eternal peace and reward. Falling into hell is the result of persistent sin, injustice, and neglect of faith. The bridge highlights that salvation is achieved through both belief and righteous deeds. Faith alone is not enough, it must be accompanied by action, sincerity, and ethical living. Preparation in daily life. Believers are reminded that preparation for the Sirat Bridge begins in this life. Prayer, charity, honesty, humility, patience, and kindness are like training steps for the soul. Avoiding sin, seeking forgiveness, and helping others are ways to strengthen oneself for the final crossing. Symbolic interpretations. Some scholars interpret the Sirat Bridge as the spiritual journey of life. Life itself is a series of challenges, tests, and decisions that determine the soul's strength and direction. Crossing the bridge is a metaphor for living righteously, avoiding temptation, and relying on Allah's guidance. Lessons for humanity. The Sirat Bridge reminds humanity that accountability is inevitable. Life is temporary, but our actions have eternal consequences. It motivates believers to live with integrity, compassion, and awareness. Every choice, big or small, matters. Imagining the scene. Picture a vast bridge stretching across a fiery chasm. The righteous walk carefully, supported by light from their deeds. Angels surround them, guiding every step. Below, the sinful face anger and punishment. This imagery reinforces reflection, mindfulness, and preparation for the afterlife. Continuous self-improvement. The concept encourages believers to seek constant self-improvement. Every day is an opportunity to perform good deeds, avoid wrongdoing, and strengthen one's faith. The Sirat Bridge teaches that the journey of life is continuous, requiring perseverance, patience, and moral awareness. Conclusion. In summary, the Sirat Bridge is a symbol of accountability, divine justice, mercy, and moral responsibility. It demonstrates that salvation requires both a faith and righteous deeds. It is a reminder that our actions have eternal consequences, and preparation for the afterlife must begin today. By living a life of honesty, compassion, devotion, and reflection, believers can ensure a safe crossing and achieve eternal reward in paradise. Reminder for viewers, if you found this explanation about the Sirat Bridge helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Your support allows us to continue creating valuable Islamic content, spreading knowledge about faith, morality, and the teachings of the prophets. In Islamic belief, the Sirat Bridge is one of the most important concepts of the Day of Judgment. It is described as a thin bridge stretched over the depths of hell, and every human being must cross it. The bridge represents the ultimate test of faith and deeds, separating the righteous from the sinful. The nature of the Sirat Bridge. The Sirat Bridge is said to be thinner than a hair and sharper than a sword. Beneath it lays hell with blazing fire and unimaginable suffering. Every step matters. It is not just a physical crossing, but a symbolic journey reflecting the consequences of our choices in life. The role of good deeds. Good deeds, prayer, charity, honesty, and helping others act as support on the bridge. Each righteous action makes the crossing easier and safer. On the other hand, sins, negligence, and wrong actions weaken the soul and make the journey more dangerous. Angels and divine assistance. Believers are not alone during the crossing. Angels assist the righteous, guiding them and protecting their steps. This shows that sincere faith combined with good deeds brings divine support. Small acts of kindness and devotion can have a big impact on the journey. Stories and examples. Yik, the righteous. Imagine a man who spent his life helping the poor, being honest in business, and praying daily. When he reaches the Sirat Bridge, his good deeds act as a support system. Angels guide him, and he crosses safely to paradise. Do the sinful. Now imagine a woman who lied, cheated, and harmed others without seeking forgiveness. As she tries to cross, the bridge feels impossibly thin. Without mercy or repentance, she struggles and falls into hell. Spiritual lessons. The Sirat Bridge teaches that life is a continuous preparation for the hereafter. Every challenge, temptation, and decision in life is like a step on the bridge. Acts of kindness, honesty, and devotion strengthen the soul, while sins weaken it. Connection to paradise and hell. Crossing the bridge successfully leads to paradise, a place of eternal peace and reward. Falling into hell is the consequence of persistent sin, injustice, and negligence. The bridge shows that salvation requires both faith and righteous deeds. Belief alone is not enough, it must be accompanied by action, sincerity, and moral conduct. Preparation in daily life. Muslims are reminded that the preparation for the Sirat Bridge starts in this life. Prayer, charity, honesty, patience, humility, and helping others are all ways to strengthen the soul. Avoiding sin, seeking forgiveness, and improving oneself ensures a safer crossing. Symbolic meaning. Some scholars interpret the Sirat Bridge as the spiritual journey of life. It represents the challenges and trials that shape the soul. Crossing it successfully symbolizes spiritual growth, moral integrity, and closeness to Allah. Lessons for humanity. The Sirat Bridge reminds humanity of accountability. Life is temporary, but our actions have eternal consequences. It motivates believers to live ethically, reflect on their actions, and strive for moral excellence. Imagining the scene. Picture a narrow bridge over a fiery chasm. The righteous walk carefully, supported by light from their deeds. Angels guide them. Below, the sinful face anger. This imagery encourages mindfulness, reflection, and preparation for the afterlife. Conclusion. The Sirat Bridge is a symbol of divine justice, human responsibility, and spiritual growth. It teaches that salvation requires faith, righteous deeds, and sincere devotion. Preparing for the crossing in this life ensures a successful journey to paradise and inspires continuous self-improvement. After crossing the first part of the Sirat Bridge, the journey becomes even more challenging. The bridge narrows further, and the depths of hell appear closer. This part of the crossing tests not only a person's deeds but also their patience, faith, and perseverance. Every step now requires mindfulness, courage, and reliance on Allah. Challenge us along the way. Even the righteous may feel fear or hesitation here. The bridge may appear unstable, with fiery winds and darkness surrounding the path. But those who have truly prepared their souls with prayer, charity, and good actions find inner strength. Their hearts are guided by faith, and angels continue to support them. The weight of actions. Now, each past action becomes more visible in its effect. A kind word once spoken, a sincere prayer, or an act of honesty strengthens the path. Conversely, past mistakes, neglect of duties, and moments of selfishness make the crossing more difficult. The journey becomes a vivid reflection of the life each person has led. Stories of the crossing. Yik, a young believer's perseverance. A young woman who had spent her life in service to others faces the second stage of the bridge. She feels the weight of her remaining doubts and regrets, but she remembers her good deeds, prayers, and acts of compassion. The angels guide her steps, reminding her that Allah's mercy supports those who sincerely strive. She continues with determination, each step bringing her closer to paradise. The struggle of the unprepared. A man who once was kind, but later neglected his faith now faces this narrowing path. The bridge feels impossibly thin. He stumbles multiple times, realizing that partial preparation in life is not enough. His journey illustrates that consistency in faith and deeds is crucial. Spiritual reflection. This stage of the Sirat Bridge emphasizes reflection and self-awareness. It teaches that every action, even small ones, carries weight in the spiritual journey. The crossing is not only about avoiding punishment but also about recognizing the importance of continuous growth and sincere effort throughout life. Hope and mercy. Even for those struggling, the bridge carries a message of hope. Sincere repentance, recognition of mistakes, and turning back to Allah can strengthen one's path. The journey reminds believers that it is never too late to seek guidance and align one's life with righteousness. Connection to the soul's journey. This continuation shows that life is a constant test, and the afterlife is a reflection of that journey. Every challenge faced on the bridge